Joining us now with reaction is the author of the best-selling book, Treason, former Speaker of the House and Fox News contributor Newt Gingrich. Mr. Speaker, I want to get to all the election results and the Electoral College vote in a second. But first, I want to talk to you a little bit about what's been going on in Europe. First, we saw earlier today, we saw the Russian ambassador in Turkey being assassinated on television, actually videotaped. And then later on, we hear that the White House is now calling the Berlin, Germany truck that plowed into the Christmas market a, quote, terror attack, likely to be a terror attack. Your thoughts? Tell us what you see going on.
Well, clearly the man, as I understand it, the man who killed the Russian ambassador yelled Allahu Akbar and was a Islamic supremacist. So that has to be an act of terrorism. Almost certainly the truck in Germany was another act of terrorism. It'll be interesting to see if it's from somebody who is a refugee, which will put Chancellor Merkel's government in even deeper trouble, as the German people are increasingly tired of criminal behavior from various refugees who she's allowed into the country. So this is just part of the dangers of the world we now live in. You may have noticed that tourists were attacked in Jordan, something that's very unusual. But yesterday, a group of tourists were at a castle in Jordan, and they were attacked, and I think about 12 of them were killed. It's a very unusual happening. We are up against a worldwide effort, and we have no current strategy capable of dealing with that problem.
Mr. Speaker, talk to us about the relevance of that Russian ambassador being shot. We know what's going on. This at least temporary truce or peace agreement that's supposed to be going on in Syria. Will it hold? And what is the risk to the Russian side of this?
You know, look. Well, I mean, one of the things that Western liberals have refused to recognize is if the Russians and the Iranians are prepared to back Assad, the dictatorship's going to survive. There's not enough force on the other side. And so what you're seeing happen is slowly they're grinding down the opposition. The opposition, by the way, is not particularly nice people. I mean, we're now learning in Aleppo, for example, that a lot of people were terrorized. They were told if they tried to leave, they'd be killed. This is by the so-called moderates. I think the Turks are very upset, and they don't quite know what to do because they have ISIS and al-Qaeda directly south of them, and they have the Kurds to their east, and they're under tremendous internal pressure now.
But our Syria policy is in shambles right now, Mr. Speaker. When you have the Russians hardening now, I assume they're going to harden after their ambassador was killed. We're on the other side of this. We were the ones who were saying, hey, we need Assad must go. Russians are saying Assad must stay. What does President-elect Donald Trump do? What is he stepping into?
Well, I think that this is why General Flynn is going to matter as head of National Security Council, and I think that's why General Mattis is going to matter, and Secretary of State is going to matter, because they're going to have to sit down and really think through a new strategy. Now, with Jim Mattis and with General Flynn, you have people who were there. General Kelly, who will be at Homeland Security, they've all been there in combat. They have a very good sense of the region, and I suspect they will be giving the President-elect some very professional advice about what to do. But I think part of it has to come from a realization that we have, unless we're prepared to really deeply invest, which I don't think we are, we have very limited options right now in dealing with Syria.
Okay, we'll leave it right there because I want to pivot back to some of the other news of the day. Donald Trump, President-elect Donald Trump, has now gone over the 270 threshold. He will be the next president of the United States. Now, we heard the Democrats out in force over the weekend whining, anyone but Clinton, ABC, anyone but Clinton's fault that she lost. Specifically, Donna Brazile, you heard her right there. Now, this is someone who leaked some questions about debates and about town halls to Hillary Clinton. Should she even have a voice going forward in the political debate?
Well, I think clearly she and CNN believe this, and they fired her. I like Donna personally. I've known her for many years. We have ties going back to Tulane and to New Orleans. She's a wonderful human being, but she got caught up in something that really was to her disadvantage. I suspect she will not, be there much longer as National Committee Chair. But the one that I think is far more interesting is the campaign chairman, who, remember, was in charge of $1 billion. $1 billion. Had the incumbent president as his ally. Had the national news media as his ally. And they lost. And so he's looking for anybody he can blame in order to get out of from under this. And it's almost comical to watch them look. I think the next phase will be that it was Martians. This was all done by Martians, and Hillary would have won except for the Martians.
Except for the Martians. John Podesta, I guess you're talking about Podesta and Robbie Mook also could. Those two took a lot of the blame the night of the election. She went, apparently the reports were that she got very angry with both of them. Bill Clinton, former President Bill Clinton, said Donald Trump, what he knows how to do is get angry white men to vote for him. Your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, I also got a lot of white women to vote for him, a lot of other people to vote for him. I think he ran ahead of Romney with Latinos. He ran ahead of Romney with African Americans. He ran ahead of Romney with Asians. The fact is that he did, he won the election, which is a pretty big starting point. But imagine the problem you got if you're Bill Clinton. It's Christmas week. Your wife just lost. It was her second loss. She's going to spend the rest of her life being non-President Clinton while you're going to be President Clinton. You'll say almost anything to try to make her feel good. And I think that's what you're seeing. What's Bill going to do? He's not going to get up and say, I don't know why, but my wife just failed. He can't do that. Think what Christmas will be like. So I give him a certain slack. And I figure it's Christmas week, Bill. Do what you can. I understand it. But none of the rest of us should take it seriously.
You're being generous. You're being generous. I mean, there was that angry white male
Christmas,
comment.
Eric. Come on.
Yeah,
it's Christmas.
But as you point out, Donald Trump exceeded Mitt Romney in the Hispanic vote. He exceeded Mitt Romney in the African American vote as well. So you push back on Bill Clinton a little bit. Hillary Clinton, what was the turning point? We just have about 30 seconds or so. What was the turning point? Why did she lose this election?
Well, she only lost because she didn't have the energy and the drive to go to Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. In the end, Donald Trump outworked her. You look at, he was doing 5 and 6 big rallies a day. She's doing one small rally. Well, that exchange rate in the age of social media, he's getting 20, 30,000 people, all of them with their smartphones, all of them sending stuff out on Facebook. He was creating his own network. A typical Trump rally had about the same number of contacts as MSNBC.
All right, we're going to leave it there, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. By the way, Hillary Clinton will have a lot of time to go walk through the forest now. She can spend a lot of time doing what she does in the forest.